Okay, we're here today on RealAgriculture.com for part 2 of Rob Saik's What's Going to Happen in the Next Decade. Welcome today, Rob.
Thank you, Sean. Good to be here. And here we are with a second tidbits for you guys.
I'm sure the environment fits into this.
Absolutely. The consumer also is putting pressure on farmers today to not only demonstrate how food was grown, but to know that the food was grown in an environmentally sustainable, whatever that means, manner. Well, first of all, farmers are very judicious about the use of inputs. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to spend another $50 in fertilizer because I'm excited about that. Or no farmer wakes up in the morning and says, well, I wonder what I can spray on today. You know, farmers make intelligent decisions, but increasingly, I believe the environment is going to impact the decisions that farmers make and indeed what society expects from farmers. Again, giving you some examples. We know right now that the world is in discussion about the mitigation of greenhouse gas emissions. I run a carbon offset company where we try to help farmers package up and sell their carbon offsets. I believe that if society wants us to move in the direction of greenhouse gas mitigation, that as an agrologist I can help that happen. I can help farmers sequester carbon in soils. I can help farmers mitigate methane through their livestock operations and feeding practices. And an exciting one, Sean, is I can help farmers mitigate the losses through nitrogen losses of nitrous oxide, which means more precise application of nitrogen at the right time, the right amount, the right place, and the right form of nitrogen, all playing into the economics of farming, which I think is important. So look for, in this next decade, a changing in subsidization and support for farmers. I call it a shrinking of red box, which is direct payment subsidies to farmers, and an increasing opportunity to farmers in the area of green box. More green box programs. Again, an example. All of us realize that when you have cattle next to a river or a stream, you don't want the cattle defecating inside of the river or the stream. And the farmer says, I'm good with that. I could make that change. But the society, if they don't want the cattle doing that, which they've done for 100 years, but if they don't want that happening anymore, then help the farmer to fence off that stream. Help the farmer with a well that provides fresh water to the cattle, and then everybody's happy. The farmer says, hey, I'm better, I'm more efficient, and I don't have cattle going in the water. And society says, we have cleaner water. Well, good, that's a win-win. So look for the changing in subsidization, I hate that word, but incentives. Look for decreased red box incentives, which is direct payments, and look for increased green box incentives.
Okay, and finally, point number 5.
Outsourcing of agriculture worldwide. As I scan magazines like The Economist magazine, and as you watch the internet, you see an unfolding, Sean, of something happening in agriculture. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, China, Japan are outsourcing agriculture. They're buying tracts of land in places like Kenya, Angola, Tunisia, places like this around the world. They are trying to reduce their vulnerability on their food supply. Saudi Arabia in the last year announced an abandoning of a lengthy wheat project inside of Saudi Arabia where they were subsidizing wheat production inside of Saudi to the tune of $1,000 a ton. They just simply can't grow wheat in Saudi Arabia. Duh. I mean, it's hard to do that. So they're now taking their money and investing in agriculture in other parts of the world, like I said, Angola as an example. What it creates is an opportunity. There's an opportunity for Canadians worldwide right now. We are respected as a nation of people who have figured out how to do a great job in agriculture in arid and semi-arid climates. There's nobody out there who does a better job of minimizing water loss in areas like Oyen, Alberta, and in Indian Head, Saskatchewan than Canadian farmers do. We've figured out how to do this. This is the #1 issue in agriculture worldwide. Agriculture consumes 70% of the fresh water on this planet. And what we've got to do is we've got to figure out how to make water go further. And I don't care whether it's through biogenetics, I don't care it's through technology integration, equipment manipulation, or management strategies. Canadians lead the way in this. And so I think there's an opportunity for Canadians to outsource their ideas worldwide. You know, it wasn't that long ago when everybody was scared poopless over the Brazilians coming on board with the soybeans. Well, thank God they did, because the world consumption of soybean products increased, and without that extra capacity, the world would be in a devastating spot right now with soybeans. So we need to have production going on around the world to sustain a population that's going to grow. And I think agriculture is totally able to do this. We've done it before with the Green Revolution, with the work that Norman Borlaug did. We can do it again through technology and management transfer. And I think Canada has got a great place to play. With that all being said, farmers work in a commodity industry, and a commodity-based industry is a cruel and a brutal industry, and it only rewards the low-cost producer. So we've got to be efficient at how we run our farms. We've got to adapt technology. We've got to be good environmental stewards. We've got to raise food that meets the needs of the consumer so we can try to extract higher revenues out of the marketplace. And lastly, we've got to be smart about how do we leverage our knowledge around the world. So in a few minutes here, Sean, that glimpse as to 5 areas, there's more, but those are 5 areas that I've been keeping my eye on in terms of where agriculture is going in the next decade.
By the sounds of it, it's going to be a pretty exciting decade, and like you said, there's more on the list, but those are the 5 topics that you're really focusing on. I think it's really cool, and we're looking forward to your contributions in the future, Rob.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. It's going to be a great year.
Thanks a lot.